Welcome to another part of BloodRayne 2. This time we're doing Wetworks. And only Wetworks. Because this level alone takes a whole hour to complete.
Hey, we gotta lock this place down. Sun's coming up. Vampire patrols are all in for the day.
So the gimmick of this one is that there's a whole bunch of sun around. We're in the daylight now, which is the first time we've actually been in daylight for any level of this game, or the previous game. And, it's fine. The whole gimmick is that you stay in the shadows, which means you stay in, like, the dark spots of the entire level in order to avoid getting burnt. And be fair, it's not a huge, like, fast burn when you're in the sunlight. You'll see why. It can be annoying, considering the enemies can really fuck you up still. But for the most part, when it comes to traversing through the sunlight, it's not a bad thing. And you will be forced into sunlight anyway for some of the platforming anyway. So it's just a little annoyance is all. But it's not a huge problem. I'm fine with this, honestly. But you know what I'm not really that fine with? This bit right up ahead once we go in through this door here. Like, right past this.
There's a service corridor beneath that giant Tesla coil. Find the controls to lower the safety fence so you can access the maintenance hall.
So our mission here is we gotta destroy these generators by going to these switches and breaking them, essentially. That's fine, dandy. You know, no problems there at all. I mean, yeah, the combat here is still, like, fucking crap. Because, you know, there's a lot of annoyances with the weapons, and, you know, the whole grapple thing is still a pain in the ass. But, for the most part, you know, not a huge difficulty here, you know? It's just kind of simple. It's not that simple, though, is it? It's not. It's really not. There's a lot of kind of maze-ish moving around we gotta deal with. No. And also, the whole wave thing, you know. I can't progress forward until I kill every enemy. Which, considering how BloodRayne 1 went, this is just padding. And the game does a lot of padding. And I'm not a fan of the padding. I'm really not a fan of how much this game pads shit out with the fucking combat. It's just... it's a downgrade, honestly.
Damn it, one of the turned is in the blood room.
What's it doing?
I don't know, it's just splashing around.
Get it out of there.
Yeah, that's a negatory, good buddy. That son of a bitch is 15 feet tall. Can't we call in a foreman?
That's all we need. Those guys are just as bad. You look at a foreman the wrong way, he'll flatten you. Then he'll drink you.
So what are we supposed to do about that gargantua in there?
He's not hurting anything. Let him play.
I'm afraid I'm gonna kick your ass, and I'm gonna kick that guy's ass too that you were talking about. That little monster there in the blood pool. So this guy, he's a little annoying, because he does his charge move, and he's kind of like a bull sort of enemy. But, the boss at this point have a lot of health. I mean, they've always had a lot of health, but these guys now will have quite a bit of defense on them, and will take a lot of damage to actually deal. And the blue bar here, or you know, our aura here, in order to essentially go behind and do these slashes and shit. Yeah, we don't have a big enough bar to handle this, and when he attacks, he takes out a good chunk of the blue bar. This is just fucking obnoxious, honestly. I mean, yeah, it acts as armor, which is great, but when you use it also as an attack in order to actually deal a good amount of damage, it's just... look at this. I'm only dealing like about half damage, and I'm only down to half, and I now have to get more. And the thing is, if this area in particular, there's only this amount of enemies the entire time. You only get these enemies to get any kind of fucking blue bar fuel back in order to get back into your mode. And yeah, it shows how bad this is, because oh god, if you lose all of this, you have to fight this guy by essentially trying to get behind him and attacking him that way. Now, of course, this was the thing from before, you know, BloodRayne 1 of the big guy, you know, that one guy we went behind him in slow motion to keep attacking him that way and shit in order to grow back stuff. We did that before. Problem was, dilapidated perception did not also take our blue bar. So, yeah, this just kind of fucks things, doesn't it? Because we can't use slow motion to make this easier for us. We have to go at normal pace. And the good news there is that this guy's slow, in a sense. The problem is, he can attack you from behind, from the side, from everywhere. It's kind of hard to avoid his attacks. And he can easily knock you down. So, get ready, because the game just really loves to throw these kinds of bosses at you. I'm also going to talk over this shit, because there's a lot of moments where it's just like the camera panning around, and I will show that without me talking and give you the loud fucking audio thing. But there's so many of it that if I just only stop talking for all of it, it gets annoying. Because there's nothing else really happening. But yeah, that was the fucking bull enemy, and that guy is just... he's kind of a mutant, he's just kind of a bull character, but for the most part, he's just annoying. And that won't be the last time we'll see him either. Now then, what else can we do here? Well, we have to now go all the way up the stairs in order to get to the control panel to destroy it in order to essentially open up the generator for us. Yeah, that's all it does. The fucking control panel opens up the generator gates in order to let us do something with it. So, what do we do with it? Do we go ahead and, you know, attack the fucking thing? You're not... You're just... The thing that I have a problem with in this whole entire game is just... The game wants you to really get used to things like the fucking harpoon, alright? It really wants to get used to a lot of the big annoyances that this game has. And you already know my feelings and my problems with that. So, when the game is making you do this, normally, it gets to be frustrating and a problematic thing. And trust me, that thing I said about the brute, that motherfucker, it's not as annoying as another kind of boss fight. Because that guy will appear a few times, but it's not a big problem. Also, invisible poles. We need our vision to see these. These are actually invisible. I don't know why. But there we go. Now we can get that. And, I have been told this. And I have looked up a bit on this. These bloodbaths here, all they do is fill back your health and your blue bar. And your ammo. They do not upgrade a single fucking thing. So these are glorified refill stations, which makes them considerably worse than Prince of Persia's fucking water fountains of the Sands of Time game. In fact, let me just quickly check when both these games were released, because I feel like that will definitely tell. Okay, so 2003, 2004. Yeah, BloodRayne came a year after Prince of Persia Sands of Time. And I mean, Sands of Time, it did the whole, you know, hidden fountain thing pretty well, because it actually upgrades your health and shit. Here, it just refills. It's just kind of like a weaker fucking fountain. And it's almost kind of pointless. The only reason you will ever use it is if you really need it. Like, you're low on ammo and you need that ammo, which I don't know really why you would. Or maybe you're low on health and on the blue bar, and you really let that fucking fill it up immediately. That is like the one case scenario I can see it being very useful. By the way, the shotgun. I've been told to get up real close to enemies and just fire it right in their bodies. And, it doesn't really do anything different. In all honesty, that's what I've been kind of doing anyway, but, yeah, it's just... The shotgun is really downgraded here. But at the same time, when we actually upgrade this thing, and I will upgrade it, the shotgun does become, pretty neat to me. I do start to really like the shotgun eventually. It just requires the upgrades to actually become good. Same thing with the machine gun. But the machine gun, by default, was already kind of meh. So, it was already the best gun to me. But the other guns in this game, I swear to God, suck. I try them, and I hate them. I honestly feel like we already have the best weapons already. The fucking pistols, the machine guns, and the shotgun. Every other gun that I will get throughout this game, I will never end up really using much because it is so shit on ammunition and on what it does. One of them's unique. The other ones are like an RPG essentially. There will be a fucking RPG gun in this game. But, much like the first game, it sucks. So, there's a lot of downgrades, and I'm discouraged heavily on so much of it. But all I can say is, you know, it could be worse, I guess. Anyway, here's the machine. Let's break it already.
Get the fence sealed. Anything touches it, and it'll go supernova.
Yep, we gotta destroy the fucking thing. How do we do it? Well, there's an enemy right here, you know, just popping in. I'm gonna throw him through the window and get a nice little FMV thing, a little slow motion thing, which doesn't attack the flow and make it awkward. But yeah, you already can tell what we're doing here in order to actually destroy the generator, can't ya? The only good news I can give you on that one is you don't have to do both in like the same moment, okay? Once one's destroyed, it's destroyed. So, we're not getting the dance floor bit ever again in this game. Trust me, it's never happening again. It's still not good. The harpoon is still bad. I'm just gonna jump cut because I'm not gonna waste your time. It's in that same area as the fucking first generator, panel, but it's on the other side that's now open to us. So I'm going to go over there, I'm going to break that, and we're going to continue on for another harpoon session.
Keep away from those coils. You're putting out enough juice to light up a city.
And you want to know something? Expect a lot of jump cuts at this point, because there really is a lot of fucking padding in this game. It's inexcusable the amount of times the game will just pad itself out. And in a sense, this is padding because the enemies don't get that close, and not only that, but the harpoon sucks the utter fucking shits. So, it takes a while, but jump cut, I do manage to actually break the fucking generator. And there you go. Now we're down here, now we can move on to the next level. So, by the way, Wetworks has the most of these hidden blood doors. No joke, it has the most. It has like 5 out of the 20 there are. So, yeah.
Man, that was one hell of a night. I can't believe how many blood sacks we nabbed.
Tell me about it. There's got to be at least 1,000 people getting juiced in there right now.
I'm just glad we don't have to get any closer than the loading bay. I always get nervous around those foremen.
I know what you mean. I saw one of them bash the guy's skull in just because he was in the way.
You know what? You get where you can swing a 500-pound hammer one-handed, and you get the right of way, too.
I do like the dialogue in this game, to be honest. The dialogue, it can have some good moments. A lot better moments than BloodRayne 1 did, at least. Also, there are some moments where the slow motion thing is actually kind of neat. I want to be positive about this fucking game, okay? I want to be positive, but the game gives me so much shit that it makes it hard to really be positive about the fucking game. It makes it hard to find a positive. And here's another negative for you. Combat becomes annoying here, because the enemies just like to stay in spots where the sunlight is really heavy. And because of this, I have to lure them into my spot. This means standing there like an idiot and waiting for them. The problem is, unless they have a fucking weapon, they won't really move. If they got a gun, they will almost always move. But if they're just fisticuffs, yeah, problem. Also, the fucking sun still gets in the way regardless because of the platforming. We're doing more pole vaulting, which, by the way, it still hasn't gotten better. But, it's just... we now have to pole vault around while the sun burns us. So, that's not really fun. That's not nice. Especially with how awkward the game is of this. Because, by the way, this delay... if you, like, jump, and jump again in the middle of the air while you're going to another fucking pole, it automatically jumps you. It doesn't matter if you didn't want to jump immediately. The game fucks you because you were trying to jump across real fast because you didn't want to waste your time. And, oh, by the way, you're being burnt by the fucking sun, so of course you don't want to waste your time on a fucking pole that's trying to kill you. But, oh, man. The pacing is all over the place. Sometimes it wants you to be fast. Sometimes it wants you to take it slow. It just really forces you to really do a certain pace. And it's always against itself. And it's just... and by the way, I'm in the sun again. But it's not burning me here. Because I guess there's bits of shadow around or some shit. But I can definitely see Rayne's, like, model, like, light up in certain spots when I'm on the balcony there. And yet somehow, for fuck's sake, I'm not getting burnt. I don't get that. Oh, by the way, I do get lost a bit here on where to go. Because the game doesn't really direct me at all where to go now. There'll be moments where the game doesn't direct you at all. And you kind of need that. Because, unlike BloodRayne 1, where everything was still fairly linear, almost every single level in BloodRayne 2 is fairly open. Which makes it difficult for you to really realize where to go. Because that way that I just went there, this way I went, that was not noticeable. I thought from the balcony thing and all that I was on, there was a door around there to open. Maybe there was a path to go. No. I just had to forget all of that and go across a shadow line over to a door I can barely see amongst the fence. And it's just... there's moments like that where the clarity of where to go is fucked. It's more fucked than BloodRayne 1. And BloodRayne 1 did not have a clarity option, really. You could still figure out where to go for the most part. Sure, some of the fucking things you had to do were a pain in the ass, but for the most part, navigating it wasn't a problem. BloodRayne 2 has that problem. Anyway, now there's a whole bunch more enemies around. I am utilizing the pistol more to upgrade to its full capacity to see just how much more damaging the pistol gets. Spoiler alert, I end up not using the pistol anymore because it's not that much damaging. It's just... It's a D grade. It's still a D grade. The fucking guns in this game are still a downgrade from what the fucking original game had. I'm not going to change on that opinion. I still don't like the fucking guns here. But at the very least, I am getting used to it. It took a while though. But that's because of the fact that for the most part, I found a bigger annoyance being the fucking harpoon. Which doesn't make this any better. Oh, and by the way, we now have another wave fight. Get used to this. Get used to this. Hang on. Let me just lay down a little bit to relax because I need the relaxing. I need the relaxing because this game really puts me on the edge, puts me on a bad spot. And not only that, but the wave fights. BloodRayne 1 did not have this, really. Every fight you did had a purpose, but you could still get through the game relatively well without having to fight everyone. You just have to aim for your main targets and kill them. That's it. Everybody else would die around them for the most part. But in this game, it's doing wave fights where you have to kill every enemy in order to get through. And it just doesn't flow well with this game. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It just feels like more fucking parry, and also the button doesn't work because the guys glitch inside walls and shit somehow. So the AI is fucking dumber here than they were in the first game somehow. How the fuck? And now we have the foreman. All I can tell you is get used to him. You have no choice but to get used to him. Also, that was dumb of me, but I really just wanted to see if I can grab those and throw them. I couldn't, but I'm sorry. There's a problem here. And the problem here is the foreman. I don't know what they were thinking, what the developers were thinking with this guy. He is just shit. Sure, he has a lot of damage. Sure, he's a pain in the ass to fight and he has a lot of defense on him. Sure, he's a fucking awesome looking monster. Looks like a giant troll monster with a giant hammer to fuck your shit up. I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool with is how much this guy is used compared to any other boss. It is shocking how much the foreman appears over and over again in the same level. They overdo this guy so heavily that every other boss character doesn't even get close to the amount of appearances compared to the fucking foreman. And he's not that interesting, unique a character to be given such an amount of appearances in this game. It is so dumb. Especially since he isn't even a main boss, he's a sub-boss. And they really just mark him up immediately as this badass. And yet, there I did, I just kicked his ass, no problem. It's just... It's so dumb what they do with this character that I don't like it at all. And I end up hating the foreman entirely.
There's no car in this elevator.
And when has that ever slowed you down?
You know what? Severin has moments. he has moments of dialogue where I can actually like him. It's not enough. I don't like Severin either. And by the way, this commentary is being done after I beat the game. I went ahead and beat all of the game. And Severin is entirely unlikable. He's just a douchebag that's a complete fucking pussy. And he's not even that helpful. I've been told to listen to Severin so much, but as you have now seen, not only does he give you no shits a lot, but you saw what he said about the fucking heart with Slez, right? He doesn't help you. He doesn't help me. I would rather use Auravision to understand my shit than listen to him, or look at the fucking objective list, because he is so fucking useless. Holy shit, you're back! I haven't seen you since level 1.
Yeah, kinda stings, huh?
Fucking hell, the Dampiers are really getting the low ball here, aren't they? But yeah, there's another one. Same model too, but hey, I ain't gonna complain. I miss this guy because he looks like a fucking awesome character, honestly. He looks awesome. And I'm glad to see him again. I mean, yeah, I kick his ass like a bitch because I'm better now, but still, like, I'm fine with this. I liked that. And now I got this new move.
Let's commence the final test, shall we? Blood stupor has been induced in Subject A to render him more cooperative. Release Subject A.
Surprising result.
Initiate the shroud. Now, Subject B.
Dead gods! I never thought I'd see the day when vampires can walk freely in daylight.
The shroud works perfectly. Once you finalize your incoming shipment, we can initiate our hostile takeover.
The main shroud tower here is prepared to pump enough shroud into the sky to cover the entire city and eventually destroy the race of man.
Well, shit.
Rain, I'm outside, seeing something extremely disturbing. I have a terrible feeling that I know what they're up to here.
Yeah? What you got?
There are vampires walking around in broad daylight. Wait, not exactly daylight, but under some sort of red cloud that's issuing from a number of vents. Where the cloud goes, they can go. As if it protects them from the sun.
What? That must be the shroud I heard them mention. So that's what they're making here?
Lady wins the prize, and if they're serious about pumping enough of it...
Oh, sweet God. Vampires will be able to move in daylight.
This is bigger than we ever guessed. We've got to stop this. Shut this place down.
Severin, we could be talking end of the world here.
Definitely. Don't let that happen, Rain. You might not care much for humans, but it's got to be better than living in a vampire apocalypse.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Well, we're only halfway through the game, right? Things are getting really fucking bad, aren't they? They're getting really fucking bad. We now have this shroud. Oh god, him again. Here's the second appearance of the foreman. Of course, we have to fight him too. Sometimes you don't have to, you can skip him, but other times, mostly, you have to fight him. And it gets boring. Anyway, yeah, the shroud. It brings up a whole blanket, I guess, of like blood cloud or whatever. I don't know how that works, but Yeah, it blocks out the sun, and it lets vampires just roam around in the sunlight, no problem. Which, Jesus Christ. I guess that means we're gonna see more fucking vampires throughout the game, right? Right? No? Okay. Okay, so now we gotta deal with more enemies. Of course we are. At this point, I honestly don't know if I have to fight every enemy or not sometimes, because it just feels like they're all blending together in a sense, you know? Before they were optional, now it's a complete 180, like it's a complete crapshoot on if they are optional or not. Oh, another blood door. I don't really need this one, but might as well. Might as well try to find almost every blood door. I already know I missed one in level 1 before you get the guns. But I don't really care much. But everything else, for the most part, I've been finding them. I will say I only found about 18, 17 of them though, out of 20 throughout the entire game of my playthrough. I don't care about 100% of these horror games, honestly, though, so it's not a big problem to me, but still. I don't worry too much about that because this game doesn't really have a 100% completionist sort of thing, so I'm not really any kind of problematic position for that. What I am in a problematic position for, though, is for what I gotta do in this objective right here.
Door's locked. Surprising, huh? That pipe runs right next to the catwalk. I wonder how caustic those chemicals are.
Ah, yes! More fucking harpooning! And this one is just kinda sucky. It's just shit. You just do this over and over again. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole bit here. You just throw them left. Usually you will get it though. It's a big spot, but it's still kind of crap. I'm just gonna jump cut because it takes quite a fucking while to do this. It's more padding. Now, if you didn't count, that was a total of 6 enemies I had to throw in the vat. And yes, every cutscene was exactly the fucking same as what you saw. It did not change. It was the same fucking cutscene 6 times. I wasn't going to waste your time with that. And Wetworks does not stop with that. We will see that kind of objective with that kind of padding a few more times. And it's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. Anyway, there's a rail here I can grind on. I should have gotten my fucking sword out for that one, but whoops. Whatever. I can't get those guys anyway now, so they're just like there, I guess. Gonna stay there forever in limbo. Oh yeah, more of these guys. To be honest, I'm finding the ragdolling of the shotgun to be... That enemy just did a dumb. That enemy just did a real fucking dumb. Anyway. I enjoy the ragdolling of the shotgun so much in this game. Like, the shotgun sucks, ultimately. It doesn't do that much damage, and the so little ammo doesn't really account for any kind of use for the most part until you upgrade it, and even then, it's not that much better. But the ragdolling, I just love it so much, and the ragdolling does become useful. So, I actually like the shotgun more than machine gun here, because it doesn't help in the damage much. But in terms of the fucking, like, ragdoll physics shit, and like stunning enemies because of it, I like that. I like that kind of like aspect of the shotgun. And it's the only weapon that really does any kind of ragdoll fucking stunning. So, yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. This is probably like the best weapon in the fucking game almost, if not for damage. Machine gun still wins there. And oh, for fuck's sake, the foreman. Was it the third time? This time I don't even fight the foreman. Now we go downstairs because there's a giant wind turret here that will pull you in and try to kill you, but it will also pull the enemy in and kill them. And guess what? It counts your carnage point thing somehow, even though I'm not doing anything. And because of this guy getting pulled in, instantly kills him. Fucking done for. But then the game glitches out here, because if you go into the blood door here now, which is right here, if you go inside and refill yourself, which I don't really need at all, but if you do this, and you come back out, the game respawns the fucking boss. Not a joke, it respawns him, and he's kinda in the fucking turbine already, and you keep hearing the blood. And it doesn't stop. And you just hear this squishy noise the entire time while your carnage bar just slowly fills up. And yeah, there he is. The enemies also get themselves killed, and my carnage bar goes up because of that. So, you know. And now I got an upgrade. This is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb. I just... Oh my god, this turbine, man. Holy shit, a female Dampier. And this bitch is actually more annoying, well, more difficult, than the male one. Because she's very acrobatic, which means she dodges a lot. And I do mean a lot. The other guy does not dodge that much, he just goes straight for you with his sword. This female Dampier, though, prefers to go way away with her guns and just keep shooting at you. She's not melee to you that much, and she really avoids your shit a lot more consistently. Which, because of that, it makes it harder to get her. Because you have to keep chasing her. And your attacks don't go that far. There is the whole 1-1 mode, where our swords like kind of increase, like enlarge. And I will show that eventually in the game. But even that's not long enough to actually deal with this shit. And by the way, we can use the shotgun on her, and it does knock her down, but she automatically gets back up anyway, so it doesn't do that much. But it's just kind of fun to use the shotgun on her in a sense. We'll get to use that eventually too. But yeah, like the female Dampier, I can't really deal with that well because unfortunately she really dodges and makes it hard to even get a hit on her. And because of this, it's also hard to use the fans against her, which you can't anyway, because I don't think the fans here even do as much force as the fucking turbine does. It just gives a smoky effect in the screen, I guess, in the room. But yeah, like, this fight's actually difficult. And you wanna know something? It's difficult for the right reasons. The boss is actually not being a massive pain in the ass where she's dealing a fuck ton of damage on me and being a huge sponge in a sense. Even though she has a large amount of health, she's being a pain in the ass for the most part because she's actually avoiding my fucking moves. She's actually being smart in her tactics. Like, this game has been throwing me so many bosses who either just stand in one place act like assholes, or just go right at me and try to like melee the fuck out of me without doing anything else for the most part. Oh yeah. Now I'm getting to this move. Now we get into this. Okay. I'm going to get into that spin attack move I was doing. That was the finisher move. When you're not locked on, that is your finisher. She spins around. Also the bomb gun. Fuck me, this one. But yeah, the fucking spin move. When we get to a certain point, you will find out that that move is the most broken move of the fucking game. And even though I gave this game credit for making the combat better, this move breaks the combat more than any other fucking move in the previous game or this one. And it makes the combat far worse because of it. Eesh. But right now I've got a cutscene coming up, and I will explain about the bomb gun eventually after this.
Belt-fed crushers, room full of them. Looks like there's only one way to get across.
Now we must use one of our double tap abilities of the number buttons. You see, we have super speed, and what it is, it's dilapidated perception, except you now move in normal speed, honestly. Even though it's kind of weird with the camera and all. But for the most part, you go faster, and everything goes much slower. That's the gimmick here. Super speed is honestly really cool. The problem is, when you actually use these modes that involve pressing the button more than once, that blue bar you have there goes down a lot faster. And if you go into the free count, it's almost worthless how fast this goes. Even if the bar went somehow to max, I don't even know how big the max is, but if it went that max, it would still not be enough for the fucking free count to be of use. And you'll see what the triple free is. It comes to the end of the game, and it can be useful. If it wasn't so fucking sad in how much it wastes your blue bar. Also, the crushers, they don't kill you instantly. I was worried that it would, because that's how most games would play this off, that the crushers would be an instant kill. But no, it just takes out a little bit of your health. So, you know, not that big of a problem. Also, the blood bomb. The blood bomb kind of, you know, grinds into the enemy and then makes them explode. The explosion also affecting you if you're close to them. But yeah, it's an instant kill move, which I'd be fine with. I'd be fine with a gun that would instantly kill an enemy if it weren't for two problems. One, the ammunition is too low for it to be of use. And two, the upgrading system is too fucking slow for it to be useful to use. And now we get into another annoying harpoon session. Not as annoying as the dance floor segment. Not as annoying as that fucking thing. You don't have to actually hit these guys into every spot you're seeing there, because there's 5 of them there. But you have to harpoon a lot of enemies in this segment into shit. And it's a lot of padding. It is so much fucking padding that I'm honestly doing you a favor. What's that favor, you might be asking? That favor is me cutting out a good bit of this segment. I'll show you the cutscene bits, but for the most part, it's all the same. Nothing really changes with this. And it's just... it's boring, it's annoying, it's repetitive, it's tedious. It's a shitty segment. And I don't like the harpoon. And I don't like the segment at all. And it's still a pain in the ass to get these. So, I'm cutting out about 30 minutes of gameplay for you. Oh, we're not done yet. There's a furnace to throw enemies in now. And we have to do this about 4 or 5 times. So let me just speed that up as well for you so we don't waste your time. And we're still not done at Wetworks, by the way. There's still a good bunch more of Wetworks to get through. This is the longest level of the entire game of all of BloodRayne, 1 and 2, and it sucks. It's just... there's not even that much of the levels to really, like, you know, say and, you know, look at and, like, be positive with. Because, like, Act 2 of BloodRayne 1 had a lot of levels in, like, one act. This is all one act, and there's not that many levels. There really isn't. It's honestly shocking to me, because Act 1 has more levels than this does, but the areas go on for so fucking long. It's just... the problem is the padding. The levels themselves are not long in reality, but there's so much fucking padding, so many wave fights, so much of this harpoon bullshit that you end up spending more time than you should. And it just makes me praise BloodRayne 1 more, because the pacing and the level design all of that game is so much better than this game. It didn't feel like a chore to me to get through the levels. This feels like a fucking chore and a half. I hate this fucking game's level design so far. And now we got 2 of these fucking enemies. Yeah, 2 brutes. We don't fight them though. We don't fight the brutes. What we do, in reality, is we go inside this area and we fight these guys, while the brutes get killed off by the sun. Yeah, you don't fight the brutes. You fight the smaller enemies inside of a building where the brutes can't even get inside, and they die from the sunlight. And that's it. I use this advantage to upgrade my shotgun, if anything. So I might as well. And I mean, there's a lot of fodder enemy around here. Like, they spawn a lot of these guys around. So, for the most part, I can easily upgrade the shotgun here. And I did. Now, this upgrade, I believe, is the ammunition one. And it actually does a good number on the upgrading. Now, so far, the machine gun and the pistol have been, like, maybe about 25% of more ammo. The shotgun gets a 50% upgrade on ammo. We can only get up to 10 beforehand. Now, our max is 20. And that is quite possibly the best upgrade of the entire game with the guns. Not a joke. I honestly believe that the upgrade we have here of this gun is better than any other ammo upgrade in the entire fucking game so far. We get up to 20 shotgun ammo when our initial was 10. 50% upgrade. I'm sorry, not 50. Actually, it's 100%. It's double. A complete double upgrade. Because the other ammo was less than double. Way less. But this is actual double. And not only that, but the damage is actually more noticeable when they upgraded for that one too, compared to the pistol and the machine gun. So, yeah, the shotgun's the fucking good weapon here. I like the shotgun. It does shit right.
Orders shipped for all remote outlets, but the meatpacking district is no longer a viable resource. It's completely hunted out. The shepherds had to grab some tourists and kids earlier just to top off the tank.
Doesn't matter anymore. We're going public today, and they'll be lining up at the gates after that. This is the last order we're gonna need to fill for a while. Get it loaded and out. This is the big one. Are the subway teams prepared?
I'll check, mistress.
Get in there, you scales!
That's the last of them. Get this cage out of here. And lock the gates so none of them can crawl back out.
Jesus Christ, we're still not done with Wetworks yet. But don't worry, this is the last Wetworks fucking level. This is the last one. It's just, you can see how long this one act is compared to all the other acts. Now, to be fair, you can argue that BloodRayne 1 Act 2 in the fucking base with the deeper underground areas all the way to getting the eye from the crystal skull and shit, you know, that I can see you like comparing that to be the longest. I can see that. But it didn't feel long, did it? It felt like we were making a lot of progress, and we were gaining through the levels, and it felt like the level design and all helped make it long without feeling long. Wetworks in BloodRayne 2 does not seem to be as long, but it feels much longer. It feels like a fucking crawl compared to the first game, and also the ragdoll fists on the fucking shotgun are almighty. I shat on the shotgun beforehand, but now I praise it. It's honestly really fun to use the shotgun. BloodRayne 1 shotguns are still better, but the ragdoll physics, the amount of ammo, that shit makes it fun. And I get to keep it. You know, I get to refill the ammo. So, I'm cool with that. I still wish the machine guns were much better though, because that's what I mainly used in the first game. But for the most part, in a sense, shotgun has been given some fucking justice. In a sense. It's still a long fucking way from the shotgun being any kind of useful that it should be. the shotgun in this game is still crap. Like, fundamentally, it still sucks. But it's a lot more enjoyable and it's a lot more useful than the first game in a sense. It's a lot more fun. It's just... it's still a downgrade because it's not as damaging as the shotgun was in the first game. The shotgun in the first game blew fucking limbs off. It killed fuckers fast. This doesn't. This is still a downgrade, and it saddens me still. By the way, I have a very scary feeling that we just killed a bunch of humans that were inside of there when we're trying to open that, so yeesh.
So they're grinding up the street trash, channeling the blood into vats and pumping the rest out as sludge. That's how they're creating the shroud.
Yeah, I'd say so. They're infusing the blood with chemicals. Weird, arcane stuff. It all pumps into the tower in the center of the compound. You should be able to gain access to the tower from the roof of the building you're currently in.
Yeah, I understand, Severin. We have to, navigate through this place in order to get to the next part of the area. By the way, inside of here is, I believe, our final blood gate for Wetworks. Which, yeah, we really don't need it. Have you noticed how Wetworks gives us a lot of doors that we don't really need? We'll get used to that because after this, there's not that many doors left. And I really want them in the parts where they don't have it. I don't like what this game is doing to me. I don't like what this game is making me feel. It's making me feel very angry for a lot of reasons. And it shouldn't. I should be enjoying this. But every time I find enjoyment, it somehow finds a way to make me upset again. And I mean, so far the shotgun hasn't been that bad. But then we go up the stairs and we get this bitch.
You! That's you causing all the trouble in my factory, right?
Sure.
Yeah. You ready to do this? Meet you at the top!
Ladies and gentlemen, Feral. We won't fight her this part. We will, though, in the next part. And I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll let you know when we get to the next part, but there is a boss fight. That's all I'll say about Feral there. But Feral is giving us a fair thing here, She wants to fight us at the very top in a vantage point that I'm guessing the enemies won't be in the way of. We got all this shit in the way, but I'm guessing she wants to be in a spot where it's very open, I'm fine with that. She wants a fair fight. I'm cool with that. So far, Feral is the only one that wants to do a fair fight. But then she appears again, and she just acts like a complete bitch.
Well, you certainly have been a pain in my ass.
Sweetie, that pain's about to get a lot more severe.
You coming up, or do you want me to come to you?
Jesus Christ, calm down, lady. I'm fucking getting there. I have to get through all of your henchmen first. Now I gotta get all the way through all the balconies and shit to get to you. Just fucking have some patience, bitch. Anyway, more enemies, more going through crap. And then we see her talk again.
I don't give a fuck if this whole damn place is coming down around our ears. He doesn't care either. If that shipment doesn't go out now, it's all our asses. Go tell those worthless assholes. Wait, you know what? Ha! What's taking you so long?
Let's go.
I'm not Sonic the Hedgehog, you fucking bitch. Calm down and just wait.
Did you see anything out there?
Be quiet, Victor. We saw the mistress. She came this way in a black rage.
So what else is new?
So, how do we bring this thing down? Gotta stop them from releasing this shroud.
Well, we can't be sure. It's my best bet that we can locate the machinery powering this thing's output of shroud. If we can sabotage those systems, we should disable this tower. Here's something for you, Rain. Seems your playmate is headed for the roof.
Hear that, Farrell? I'm coming to get ya.
Right, next on the tower. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all then.
Hey, that's a good trick.
It is. Remember me.
Sure I do. Ephemera. Remember me? I took something from you 8 years ago.
Did you? My pet shadow thief.
Oh, you do remember. Snatched him just before you could turn him. And from right under your nose, too, wasn't it?
Yes, and how is our Mr. Severin? He's a lucky man. I ensured that he dreams of me every night.
So that's why you gave up sleeping. How's it going for you?
Oh, infinitely well. I'm about to become a sort of a goddess. Something glorious is going to happen. Yes, Father, at once. I'm afraid I must take my leave, but why don't you come see for yourself? We can catch up on old times. Attend me, to Hester Sundown.
Was that who I think it was?
Oh, you heard that? Uh-huh, your former ball and chain, but we still haven't finished our heart-to-heart. Did you want to talk? I could have put her on.
No. Thank you, no. What was that she said at the end?
An invitation. Hey, which train line runs to the old Chemical Row? That's where they're moving all the kidnapped people.
Let's see. The blue line. So, you care about the victims all of a sudden?
Sorry. But I've got a date to keep and I want to get there early.